Hello, Josh Levenhagen here. Welcome to your Friday Spiritual and Emotional Health Devotional. Unfortunately, we will not be hearing from Seamus today. I'm going to be taking this time to go over some news and some updates in light of the announcement by the governor this week. As you guys may have known, there was a standing state of emergency for the state of Wisconsin that was going to last until the end of May, with a stay-at-home order that was scheduled to be completed on April 24th. That stay-at-home order, for the most part, a few restrictions have been lifted, but for the most part, that same stay-at-home order has been extended now to the end of the month of May. So for us, that means that Christ Church Family Ministry will not be having any of our family ministry activities, any of our weekly activities, or any of our monthly activities for the month of May and into the month of June. We're anticipating that these restrictions will be lifted slowly over time, and we just think it's wise that some of our June activities be canceled or postponed as well. So there's not going to be Parents' Night Out, obviously, for the month of May, but we're also not going to have Parents' Night Out in the month of June. We just think that it's safe to do that. We're also going to be postponing a family ministry picnic that we had scheduled. We hadn't had even a chance to tell you guys about it, so rather than get into the details, I'll just let you know. We'll tell you more about it as the new date comes up, which will probably be in the fall for the beginning of school. So there is not going to be any family ministry activities for the month of May and into the month of June. We'll let you know and keep you updated. In the meantime, our response is going to be very similar to what it already has been. We're just going to beef it up a little bit more. We're going to continue to make 3 weekly videos. The video at the beginning of the week is going to be chock full of activities and games and ideas to keep you sane while you're stuck at home with your family for the next additional 6 weeks. So tune into our Monday videos. They will have all of your family activities for the week. And stay tuned. We may even be doing some challenges similar to the Fortnite challenge coming up here in the next week or so, depending on the weather. So stay tuned for that. Then, of course, every single Wednesday we'll be going live at 5 with your midweek resources, things for Kids Club, things for Fusion, and a midweek message series that we've been watching from Life Church that we do a watch party on. So be sure to check out our Live at 5 Wednesday videos. And then at the end of the week, of course, we have our end of the week videos that talk about the upcoming children's church lesson, and they focus on spiritual and emotional health, and I give you a little devotional. Then, of course, on Sundays is at 11 a.m. on Facebook Live. We have Children's Church every single week. A new friend has also lately been joining us for our Children's Church videos, as well as our Monday and our Friday videos. He's been keeping us entertained and also giving us some object lessons. So be sure to tune in for Children's Church and our Monday and Friday videos. You can watch them with your kids to see little glimpses of our skits with Seamus. I'm going to be stuffing the lobby with as many resources as I can get into your hands. Coloring book pages, art supplies, storybooks, whatever I can get to you. I think I'm actually going to start including some DVDs just to be checked out like you would at a library. Anything that I feel like is going to help. Our home point resources, our parent guides, anything that I feel like is going to help. I'm going to be doing everything I can to put it in the lobby so that you guys can pick it up every week along with your children's church materials. And again, I know I've said it before, but we're now facing another 6 weeks of this. It's always a good time to make a new friend, and I've got teachers and homeschool moms who are just waiting to be an emotional resource to you during this time. Please hit me up and I will get you their contact info. We will get through this together. All right, so as usual, I've got 3 resources for you guys, and this week they all deal with the emotional impact that the news that we've received this week is having on us in our homes. Our first resource is from Right Now Media, and it's a new series called Overcoming Anxiety with John Pagluda. This series has been created specifically for this crisis, and it goes through subjects like the anxiety that the impact on the economy is having on us, the anxiety that's coming from isolation, the anxiety that's coming from the safety factor, and then the effect that it's having on our family. This series is going to be extremely helpful for us to help us process and to get through and to overcome the anxiety that's coming from this crisis and from the news that we've received just this week. So I encourage you guys to check out Overcoming Anxiety with John Pagluda on Right Now Media. My second resource comes to you from Focus on the Family, and it's an article called Showing Grace to Your Family in Close Quarters. I know some of us were on our last legs of being able to get through this quarantine 2 weeks in, and now we're looking at another 6 weeks on top of what we've already had. So this article kind of gives you some tips and some ways to try and diffuse tense situations, to be able to show grace to your children and to help be an emotional support to them, not somebody who is eroding the emotions of their family, and also ways to help keep yourself recharged and keep yourself fed emotionally so that you can continue to be strong for your family. So I encourage you guys to read this article, Showing Grace to Your Family in Close Quarters. It's going to be very helpful for you when it comes to your family's emotions. And the last resource I have for you guys is another article by Christianity Today called The Case for Sheltering in Place Without Screens. Especially, I feel like over this next 6 weeks, it's going to become such a temptation to kind of crawl into our shells and sink down into our screens, especially for those of us with older elementary and teens who have smartphones. This can be very, very dangerous because screen time is associated with higher levels of anxiety and with higher levels of depression. And so this article, The Case for Sheltering in Place Without Screens, really helps continue to push that subject that we've been talking about, which is staying away from idle screen time. And it gives alternatives, creative outlets, going outdoors to increase the hormones in our body that lead to us being less depressed and less anxious. There are a lot of different things that we can go to alternatively instead of our screens. So please check out this article, The Case for Sheltering in Place Without Screens, and let's continue to combat idle screen time over the next 6 weeks. Okay, so my devotional for this week comes to you from Psalm 139, verses 1 through 12. I'm going to go ahead and read them to you. O Lord, you have examined my heart and know everything about me. You know when I sit down or stand up. You know my thoughts even when I'm far away. You see me when I travel and when I rest at home. You know everything I do. You know what I'm going to say even before I say it, Lord. You go before me and follow me. You place your hand of blessing on my head. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too great for me to understand. I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. If I go up to heaven, you are there. If I go down to the grave, you are there. If I ride the wings of the morning, if I dwell by the farthest oceans, even there your hand will guide me, and your strength will support me. I could ask the darkness to hide me, and the light around me to become night. But even in darkness I cannot hide from you. To you the night shines as bright as day. Darkness and light are the same to you. This psalm is quoted often, but this section not so much. We're familiar with the phrase, "Search me, O God, and know my heart," and probably even more familiar with the phrase, "fearfully and wonderfully made." Now, both of these are from Psalm 139. But this section is not talked about as much. It speaks to an uncomfortable level of being known by God without having any say in the matter. As modern American Christians, we're quick to talk about our choice to be in a relationship with God. It makes us feel more in control. But choosing to be or not to be in a relationship with God does not prevent him from knowing everything about us, from knowing us better than we know ourselves. I don't know about you, but this week's latest news has brought a lot of emotional turmoil into my house. And when things get like this, I have a tendency to retreat emotionally. And I think my default feeling is that God is only in my healthy emotional states, not my mess. Only the light and not the darkness. Depression and anxiety for me then often have gone hand in hand with hiding from God. The truth is, and sometimes the uncomfortable truth for us, there is no place that God cannot reach you. No darkness that can ever hide you from his presence. No mess that he is not there already waiting for you to reach out to him. We don't talk about that enough, the willingness of God to be here in our mess and in our darkness. The Bible is very clear. God mourns and weeps with the hurting and the broken. He is not emotionally unaffected by what we are going through. He's also waiting for us to allow him into the space that we are in, however messy, so that his hand can guide us and his strength can support us. No matter where you are today, no matter what place you find yourself, know that God still sees you and loves you and wants to help you through it. And all you have to do is let him. God bless. Stay safe. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye.